In this video, we talk about how formations match up against each other. And in the video, I'm going to use a 4-3-3 against a 3-5-2 just as an example. But normally when you look at formations, you might look at them on paper and say, hey, look, there's a 3-man midfield against a 4-man midfield, or a 5-man midfield against a 4-man midfield, and here's the advantage. There's an extra player here. But for me, that's too simplified. So we really have to take a deeper look at formations and how formations change from the defensive low block and the defensive third to all-out attacking organization in the attacking third. What does that do to the other team? How do the players shift around? What can we do as coaches? So that's really what this video is about. And as always, you can feel free to join the channel to support your YouTube creator. So just for this video's sake, we're going to go a 4-3-3 versus a 3-5-2 formation and analyze that. So as you see right away, the first thing that pops out at you is, oh my God, it's 3 against 3 in the back. How is that going to work? Maybe a 3-5-2 is not the right formation to play against a 4-3-3. So let's take a little deeper look into that about why that may or may not be the case. So take a look here. If the 3-5-2 has the ball, you can see that the winger has the ball out wide, and we constantly keep possession of that ball. And what that does in the attacking third, it forces their wingers, both wingers in red with the circles there, to be pushed back, right? It only leaves now one up top. So this 4-3-3 has now effectively become basically a 4-5-1 against the 3-5-2. So in this, that 3v3 matchup no longer exists. So you have to say to yourself, if we are going to dominate the game and keep the ball in attacking organization in their attacking third, maybe a 3-5-2 is a really good formation against a 4-3-3. So now let's look at it when we don't have the ball, and you could see the outside left back in the 4-3-3 has the ball. So what do? We're going to take our winger and push them onto that left back who has the ball. And so we don't leave 3 at the back stranded. Notice the opposite side winger shifts in to create a back line of 4. So again, now this really isn't a 3-5-2 anymore because we've made our adjustments against the 4-3-3. Notice this shows the same thing, just on the opposite side of the field, and this is in the middle area of the field, in the middle third. Now let's take a look at the 3-5-2, which is no longer a 3-5-2 because you could follow the blue arrows and see that both wingers have now dropped to make a back line of 5. So now you actually have a 5-3-1-1. There's a million different ways you could do this. You could always drop a defensive center mid into the center of the defense and leave the winger higher. Whatever you want to do, but these are just variations and tactics that you can employ with your team. But you could see here we're not vulnerable against the 3 up top. We actually have 5 in the back. So the 3-5-2 formation is something that's quite different in a defensive low block. So here's my whole point about formations and matching up against each other. What does your formation look like on the defensive side? What does it look like on the attacking side? What does it look like in transition? What does it look like in the defensive third, the middle third, and the attacking third of the field? And then you also have to say, what are the individual matchups against the specific team that you're playing? And in that way, maybe you could keep the same formation, but maybe you change some of the personnel around because maybe there's a big speed mismatch in the back that you don't want to get exploited. Also, set pieces. Can you customize your set pieces? And then obviously there's going to be in-game adjustments for game management. Are you up a goal? Are you down a goal? How much time is left? All those types of things. But when it really comes to formations, just because it's a 4-man midfield against a 5-man midfield, does it really matter? Because you really have to break that down into who you're playing against, what are your tactics, how are the adjustments going to be made, and so forth. Because a formation is just a formation before the ball is kicked, and then it completely changes. But the coach does have a lot of flexibility in how he or she wants to adjust that formation from phase to phase. Does the defensive center mid drop in? Does a forward drop back? There's a lot of different things that they can do to change the formation, even though it's the same formation, just some tweaks.